I want to continue today with some stories about the FMI sisters, the daughters of Mary Immaculate, who are based in Rabaul and have spread elsewhere. I've spoken a little bit about parts of their history, which is very interesting, just to talk a bit more about their history and who they are. This is Mission Alive, your Roger from the MSC Mission Office. In some ways, the stories of the FMI reflects the story of what went on in that mission in that part of the world. How it began from small beginnings to grow into something greater, and was tied to the place and the time, as the church always is. We're in a certain place, we're in a certain time, and we're governed by that. For example, in that area of the world, the first colonial government to go there was the Germans. And we also then put German priests there and sisters. Then came the war, and the Australians took over after the war under the League of Nations. Then the Japanese came. Then the Australians came back under the United Nations. So it was a change of government. So the church had to change in all of that. But just to get back to the FMI sisters, some reflection on their life. In the beginning, the photo on the left is a photo of the people at that time. And as you can see, the life was very, very basic in terms of clothing, shelter, food. Their beliefs were full of all kinds of sorcery and superstition and magic. I don't like using the word primitive because that's a judgmental word. Their life was very, very basic and very, very different to the European life, and very, very different to the Christian life and the life of the church. So in that context, Bishop Coupe decided to form a religious congregation. Now normally in that society there was no question. Women simply grew up, got married, had children, did the gardening, did the cooking, looked after the kids. That was life. Now in that, Coupe decides he's going to take some of these young ladies and make them into religious, train them, form them to be religious. Their habit, the first habit as there, very, very simple. But already that habit marked them as something different within the population. And as I've said before, his idea was to have within the population one group of the people who are dedicated to Christ and the church, and able to take the gospel deeper, and also to serve the people, and particularly the women and the girls. That was the beginning. As time went on, some of the sisters helped the OLSH sisters, the Daughters of Our Lady of the Sacred Heart, in the work that they were doing. And here one of the sisters is injecting a man, probably with penicillin, for a tropical yaw, which was like magic. Penicillin had a magical effect on tropical yaws. But some of the sisters there, the Daughters of Mary Immaculate, are there assisting and learning, and with the people. And you'll see there a large number of women and children. And there's another shot, a similar one. Probably these girls may be in school, they have a uniform on, and the FMI sisters are there with one of the old sisters. And so began the work in medicine and education. And these young sisters would have been learning a lot. And again, all that, doing that work and having that knowledge would have set them aside from the people and marked them as somebody different. In 1967, they took their final vows. Before that, they had temporary vows, which they knew every year or every 3 years. And here, as a step, they took their final vows. This was a big thing for them, because it marked a time of recognition that they were not no longer, in a sense, a temporary or a group that was on trial, but they had made their mark and they were taking vows. So this was a very important time for them. In 1967, it was 50 years of their founding as sisters. So a very important time. And there's another one of them with their final vows. And you note too that their habit has changed. It has developed a bit more, which again is a mark of them developing, and they have a different self-image, and it's a distinctive habit and a distinctive look for them. And then, as I said too, after the Second Vatican Council, they took on training. There they are as nurses, and there they are as teachers. And as nurses there and teachers, they are marked too by their profession, and they dress accordingly, and they would have been known accordingly as teachers and nurses. So this was a big step forward in them and in their mission, and the mission of the church in that area. So this is the way mission develops, and many of those sisters have gone on to greater education, even doctoral degrees, professors at the Teachers College and other jobs. And this is part of our mission. Thank you for being with us.